22.
All right. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Town of Ulysses Planning Board meeting for April 7th, 2026. First order is a roll call of board members.
Jeff McDonald.
Linda Little.
Para Pankowski, Chair.
Fine.
For tonight's agenda, we have the following items: town board member reports, approval of the March 17th meeting minutes, privilege of the floor. For old business, we have the following items: 2012 Trumansburg Road, 4-lot major subdivision, final plat review and public hearing, open development area code amendment. For new business, we have the following item: town board request for comments on draft definitions related to data centers, board member and staff reports. Any discussion or amendments to the agenda?
Nope.
A motion to approve it?
Yeah.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Okay.
All right. Liz?
Oh, I'm up.
Yep.
I don't have too much tonight, but just hopefully everybody's been getting the mailings and the newsletters about the state of the town on Saturday morning at the fire hall, 9 to 11. We'll have snacks, chairs, and then there's chicken barbecue afterwards. Not that the town is pulling on.
Guards.
A little plug in.
You're gonna have some armed guards.
No, we need our guard. This is good stuff we're putting out. So hopefully you guys can join us for a little bit of it. I think it's supposed to be a nice day, so I understand people will spend this Saturday, 11,
Yeah, we got.
4/11,
Yep.
information.
Yep.
And then the comp plan, I was talking about it before we went on public, but the comprehensive plan should be released tomorrow. This is the version that the comprehensive plan steering committee recommended to the town board. We took a lot of actions at the end of the last meeting. This plan is going to address all those actions, and the town board is going to start the next process. We'll continue our review. The public will be able to continue to provide comments, and we'll start the seeker process most likely next week at our next meeting. So feel free to continue to pay attention and join in on those discussions and provide comments. I appreciate Carl and Mo being part of the steering committee the last 3.5 years.
Could have let it go for another half a year.
Oh, we could have. But that's really it. If you have any questions on anything in front of you, the one other item that I want to check in on is the wetlands. I got to check back in with Nate about the wetland regulations.
Yeah.
And
Stuff, yeah.
get some information on how we're going to do that. As a side note to that, there is a New York State Wetlands Forum next Tuesday and Wednesday up in Oswego. Professionals, DEC agencies, municipalities are going. We don't have representation going, but I have some people from my company that I work with are going, and I'm going to try to have them grab information that might be relevant to municipalities, just so we have our references.
Is there a fee to go to it?
Yes, it's like $1,000.
Oh.
Yes. Yes, which is why,
Pay those people something.
yeah,
Jeepers.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I was interested in going.
I think
Not-
I'll look again. Maybe there's a cheaper price for municipalities. I know, like professionals, it's
Yeah, why
Yeah.
yeah. But I'll have them gather information just that could help
not?
us.
This is gonna be it.
Oswego.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, what I read, it didn't indicate that there was, I didn't notice there was
yeah.
a fee like that.
But we do have
Starler County one sounds better.
yeah, yes. So we do have to circle back on the wetlands so that we can help you guys answer questions as you get them.
Yes.
So any questions for me?
No?
No.
I'll
Thank you.
bounce back and forth between my two
Yes,
meetings.
your multiple meetings, yes.
Oh, so
Thank
you're
you.
gonna be here, because maybe when we did.
Come back for the data center if you want me
for the
to.
Data center one,
Yeah.
that'd be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go
Would help.
sign in there, then I'll come back.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have review of past minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review the March 17th meeting minutes?
Yep.
Any corrections or changes? Do I have a motion to approve the draft minutes?
I'll So moved.
All right.
Second.
All right, all in
There
favor?
you go, Bob.
Right.
All right. Good.
Okay, next is privilege of the floor, the portion of our board meeting where members of the public may make general comments on items that are not related to items on tonight's agenda. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes in length. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the board on items not on tonight's agenda? I don't see. Rebecca, are you here for stuff on the agenda? Don't see a response online. Yeah, in that case, do I have a motion to close privilege of the floor? All right, move a second.
Second.
All right, all in favor? All right.
We have to get rotations.
Yes, you guys are doing a good job of this. You're working at this one. For old business, we have discussion of the 2012 Trumansburg Road 4-lot major subdivision, final plat review and public hearing. Applicant and property owner Chad Doolittle applied for a major subdivision for the subject site. Subdivide the existing 11.6 acre lot into 4 lots. Parcel 1 approximately 1.259 acres. Parcel 2 approximately 1.127 acres. And parcel 3 approximately 2.76 acres. And parcel 4 approximately 6.446 acres. Chad, you got any update for us or?
I think that the total acreage is like 14.
Right, and I don't know where the
I don't know where
difference
the
between
11
it and 11
came from.
comes from, well. What do you got, 1 1/4,
That's
2 1/2, and 5 and 6 is 11 something.
What are we missing?
Maybe,
Well, that has to be changed then. On the,
Resolution, yeah, was that what's,
unless it's because of the flood area along the.
Still should be part of the
City,
law.
yeah, it's still part of the lot.
yeah, that's
Something doesn't tally up.
kind of big for.
I think
Well,
that,
one that says 1.25 looks like it's twice the size as the one that says 1.127.
yeah, that-
Parcel 1.
yeah, I think parcel 1, the original house lot over there. Where the old trailer was or is,
Oh, that's parcel 3 actually.
that one was always bigger.
Yeah,
Right now it's showing 2 and 3/4 acres. Is
yeah.
that right?
Oh. I assumed it would. We have legal descriptions for these. Maybe Neil's can weigh in on. There's the 3 dots mean he's not signed in.
He's there.
Oh,
He's just muted.
Yeah,
Here he comes.
Niels,
So if there's a discrepancy in the number, then we can make those changes if the plat map's been amended, but those numbers came directly from the plat map. So if there's a discrepancy there, the surveyor needs to fix those before the planning board signs off on it. You could approve it tonight if you decide to do that. It's just Carl should wait on signing the actual document until those numbers are good.
till the correction is made.
We can reconcile.
Anyway, there's a random 3 acres kind of floating around.
yeah.
All right. Let's see, where are we at here? Besides that correction, anything new on there?
No, I'm on my last
All right,
slot here. Let's see what
okay,
2.76. Yeah, total's 11.15. Weird. I'll get to the bottom of that. But no, nothing new, just the lost on Halsey Bill, the 3, and then the original ED3 that remains.
did you say last meeting that you had already gotten a DEC letter
did.
back?
And they have that on file now. I sent that to Lori.
And that's a negative,
Negative determination.
okay. Niels, does that affect any of the exceptions or the notes we have built into the resolution?
No, because what the DEC letter basically says is they're just not going to claim jurisdiction, meaning that they don't, at this time, they don't see that there's any work impacting those wetlands that they're going to come in and say anything about. It doesn't mean that there aren't wetlands there. It's just that they're not claiming jurisdiction over them. So, but the other interesting thing is that those same wetlands that DEC mapped, the county mapped as local wetlands as well. So it's not saying there aren't wetlands there. It's just that DEC isn't going to come in and claim jurisdiction.
Okay. I'm a little,
Well,
still a little fuzzy on how this works.
yeah.
It basically means he doesn't have to go through DEC and get permits before he comes in for his construction permits through DEC. He doesn't need to get any permits from DEC for construction activity.
He just needs to stay out of the wetlands, right? Then.
Right.
So,
There's
so
no-
they will look at the site plan? They don't look at the site plans.
No.
No,
It's just the
Yeah.
building permit will look at the site
Oh,
plans
okay. Gotcha.
and where the wetlands are.
Okay.
And if he meets the conditions of the resolution.
Okay.
thank you. Let's see. Yes, then, do we have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll move to open the public hearing.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Rebecca online, are you here for the public hearing on this or some other business?
Mic got pulled away. Yeah. Double with it.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's move on.
I'll move to close this public hearing.
Yes, please.
I move to close the public hearing.
No, I'm today, I'm letting.
Second.
All right, all in favor? All right,
We're on our training wheels.
I'll move draft resolution 2026 008 for discussion on the draft resolution. Do I have a second? That's just to bring it up for discussion. Yeah, yes. Okay,
I'll second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Have you guys had a chance to look through this?
Through the resolution, yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah. Any additional questions or other than the missing roughly 3 acres?
That's pretty profound.
Yeah.
A little more than rounding error.
No more Rebecca. Whoever she was.
She's on the wrong meeting.
Go away.
She's supposed to be on there, but
Yeah,
Well, I'm wondering if the 2 point, whatever is meant to be parcel 1. And the parcel 3 is just misstated.
Well, you can get with
Yeah, I'll
Lee
look it up.
Dresser and straighten it out so that the drawings are corrected.
The shame he brought me these stamps. Thanks.
fellows, we have a new person coming in.
Yes,
Do we? I mean, it doesn't really make any difference to us whether it's,
no, we could reopen it if she's here for that.
well,
Yeah.
no, I meant on the 11 versus the
Oh, no.
14. I mean,
No,
that's,
I just need to wait on signing off until that gets corrected. We know the physical piece of ground is the same physical piece of ground it's been for 40
it
years.
is 14 acres. That's-
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the highway has come through and taken any bigger chunks out of it than they already have.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'll find out. And get that squared away.
Yeah, cause I think
Yeah.
one of the original drawings you had, like 6 months ago, had the 14 acres to
Right.
it.
Yeah,
And then somehow it morphed into this different version.
I'm not sure how.
Well, as long as it's getting bigger, it's like, hey, we're getting smaller.
Pretty small, I don't like that.
Yeah,
All of the three
Yeah.
parcels for for housing are an acre or bigger.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they meet the minimum there since you don't have public water on site.
And there's room. I mean, even if.
Yeah, so the
with a little
units
smaller,
have-
the dimensions around the
Yeah.
housing sites are.
There's like 150 foot sphere in each one.
So
It
there's
shows that
there's room to maneuver within each of those places and that. Cora Fellows, question for you. Are you here for the public hearing on the 2012 Trumansburg Road property?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Then we will continue. Yeah, I guess. Need a candidate to read all these 15 pieces of entertainment.
Well, oh, no, I guess we should read the whole thing, huh?
Well,
Even
the
the-
way we normally do it is to start the resolution and then the now therefore, and that includes all the conditions of approval.
You think that would be enough? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's the way we've been doing it for
yeah,
a year or more.
I'll read it if you want.
All right.
Okay. So the planning board resolution number 2026-008. A resolution of final submission for approval of the 2012 Trumansburg Road 4-lot major subdivision located at 2012 Trumansburg Road, Town of Ulysses, tax parcel 20-3-1. Whereas the planning board finds the following. The,
Normally you go to.
yeah,
The
the
now there.
proposed action is consideration of a major subdivision of a parcel located at 2012 Trumansburg Road, Town of Ulysses, tax parcel 20-3-1. Now, therefore, the planning board resolves the following. The planning board hereby grants final subdivision approval for the proposed major subdivision as described above and as shown on the map noted above, subject to the following conditions. Conditions of approval. 1. The applicant shall submit a wetland report with wetlands and stream delineations performed by a certified professional wetland delineator using the U.S. Army Corps of Engineer Wetlands Delineation 1987 or latest version for the entire parent parcel as part of construction permit applications. 2. All construction plans set shall include site plans that incorporate the wetland and stream delineations, along with delineations of required buffers. 3. Jenny Creek shall have a 100-foot buffer from the top bank. 4. No construction, including septic leach lines, grading, excavation, fill, or other disturbance shall occur within wetlands, streams, or their associated buffers. 5. The applicant shall submit a stormwater pollution prevention plan performed by a New York State licensed professional stormwater engineer for the entire parent parcel as part of construction permit applications. 6. No direct stormwater discharge from development to wetlands, streams, or their associated buffers shall be permitted. Any indirect stormwater discharge proposed by the stormwater engineer shall require permits and/or approvals from USACE, New York State DEC, and/or the town as applicable as part of construction permit applications. 7. Any proposed development or the placement of fill within the FEMA designated flood zone shall require a floodplain development permit from the town and variances from the Board of Zoning Appeals, BZA, as may be applicable. 8. The applicant shall submit county highway permits for all proposed new driveways off Haleyville Road as part of construction permit applications. No driveway shall be permitted within a wetland, stream, or their associated buffers without a variance from the BZA. 9, the applicant shall submit the wetland report and wetland and stream delineations to County Whole Health as part of all septic permit applications. The applicant shall submit county whole health permits and approvals for septic systems and wells as part of construction permit applications. 10, temporary erosion and sedimentation control, TESC, measures for construction activity must be operational prior to commencement of any clearing or earthwork. 11, all exposed ground must be reseeded within 30 days of the completion of construction if reseeding is not practical due to weather or seasonal restraints. The ground must be covered with mulch as directed by the town's building official. 12, all streets are to be kept clear of dirt and debris at all times during construction. Dust suppression and street cleaning must occur as directed by county or state public works inspectors as applicable. 13, any grading fill on the site shall be done so as to not impact the surrounding properties. 14, no development, grading, excavation, fill, etc. may occur on parcel 4 without approval by the planning board and or town board as may be applicable. And finally, 15, all lighting shall be dark sky compliant. The applicant shall submit fixtures spec sheets for all proposed lighting as part of construction permit applications that clearly document compliance with dark sky approved luminary guidelines.
So one correction for Halseyville Road.
Oh, what is it? Oh,
It's a
yeah,
statement.
I thought that was wrong, yeah, right,
That,
I was
okay,
like, what?
And the other correction is
is the acreage up
well,
there.
everybody listed as 14.37. That's what everybody has it listed at. The acreage,
Yeah,
so there's something
right.
wrong, so that should be added in this, that because the map that they did was also wrong. So somewhere there's, somebody put in the wrong amount.
Yeah.
So the plat has to be fixed.
Plat has to be corrected,
Right,
and then in here, does it list the acreages?
and then it's on number 3.
Yeah.
Where it's
Yeah.
11.6.
Right, so that
So-
needs to get corrected also.
Right.
I
Right,
wonder if the original acreage came off the deed, and the deed is wrong.
yeah,
I don't know.
Cause that's pulling the acreage off of the map, right, to scale.
yeah,
It's taking the dimensions and figuring,
Yeah.
should be taking the dimensions.
because maybe they included the,
Well, it is
Right.
possible that the deed, the original deed is wrong. Do you have the original deed?
Probably starting, Doug.
Somebody
Well,
has it.
Yeah, between
Doesn't
him
matter.
and Lee Dresser, they'll get it figured out, because, you know, if it included the right of ways for the roads, because there's a lot of road on both sides of that. That could suck up a good amount of acreage, but it's not normally, I think, included as part of
yeah,
it.
not 3
No, it
acres though,
was,
yeah,
he does have it included here. It's very possible that
Or
it
2
actually is
acres.
only 11 acres.
Inside, once you get clear of the road
yeah,
right of ways, because 96 down through there is wider than typical.
Well, the plat does take into consideration 90, because he goes right down the center of it. So yeah, it's in there, but it's very possible that over the years it was a mistake.
Yeah,
So
anyway,
yeah,
they will get it corrected, and once that's corrected, then are you guys okay if I sign it at that point?
Mhm.
Yes.
Make a modification to this.
as long as the paperwork is correct, that's all.
Yeah.
And it's possible it is correct.
So on that note,
There's a lot of stipulations
oh,
I did.
Yeah.
use to vote,
I did
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
right,
yeah, right,
Can I have a copy of them?
yes,
we have to vote for.
right, take the whole thing with it.
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Who comes up with this?
Standard.
Well, some of it came from the county, the 239 review from the county.
Seems very.
For a subdivision.
Parcel floor
Way
and
subdivision,
for
yeah.
eliminating even grading.
Is it because there won't be? I mean, you don't have to come to the planning board for site plan.
Well, what this is saying is like,
I know,
even if I'm not building something, I can't continue to level off that still becomes available. Right? This is what this is saying. Any fill has to be approved. So like if I have a load of fill that's clean, I'd have to come for every load of fill to have that approved.
Niels, you wanna
Seems crazy.
explain that?
So no fill at all can occur within a wetland, stream, or buffer. I mean that's just law, but any fill does require a permit, a construction permit from the building department. If it's talking about parcel 4, the DD4, that came in because the only uses that are permitted are restaurant and a trailer. The code is extremely limited on what you can do. So any fill or any other sort of construction activity technically requires town board approval, but to get to town board approval, it would have to come to the planning board for review and comment.
So even if I wanted to put a restaurant in there like it's currently zoned, I'd want it on level ground.
If it's just a restaurant, I mean, obviously you need construction permits, but you'd have to, that wouldn't require any approvals by the town board or planning board.
Right. So currently, as it's currently zoned, I'm not building anything. There's not a concrete plan to build anything. I'm not putting any fill near a wetland or anywhere near a buffer. I have a negative DEC determination. Is this stipulation saying I can no longer put fill on my property?
So fill on parcel 4 would be a side project. Like if you have an active construction permit with Mark, that's one thing. But if you're just dumping fill without permits, that's a whole other scenario.
What's the permit? Like, what permit? There's no building permit. There's nothing being built.
So does he need to work with Mark on that to, you know, to be able to, as clean fill becomes available, to essentially prep the lot for long-term building?
Yeah, you would have to work with Mark on that. Yeah.
But this is saying something different. The way I heard it. I'm not sure which one of the 15 it was.
14. It's number 14 is no development, grading, excavation, fill, etc. may occur on parcel 4 without approval by the planning board and or town board,
Yes.
as may be applicable.
That doesn't seem.
So yeah, other than what is already permitted under code.
Development, fine, but I should be able to grade the property any way I please, as long as it doesn't interfere with wetlands or
When does,
buffers.
what's in the zoning on grading?
Yeah.
Isn't there something that if you grade a lot,
Yeah,
it's supposed to have a permit?
So right. So under New York state law, grading does require any sort of grading. So that's excavation, fill, anything like that does require a building permit or construction permit, I should say.
What if you're not constructing?
So under zoning though,
It
if
kicks in the wetland, not the wetlands, the stormwater management, things like that, once you disturb that age, whether you're
yeah,
putting fill on top of it or anything else. So really, I think what you're gonna need is to go in with a plan showing roughly the area you're gonna put the fill and then whatever you're gonna need for temporary stormwater management. So fence or anything else.
correct, exactly.
So it's not really a construction
But
permit.
is
it's more
that
of a-
something that Mark can approve?
Yeah.
Rather than has to come to the planning
Right.
board or the town board, which is way
Right.
Article 14 reads?
So again, if it's construction related to parcel 4 DD3, as it's currently written, right, then that's fine. If it's fill as a separate use, that's where the town board and the planning board would come into play because fill as a use is not listed as one of the permitted uses in DD3.
I think that 14 needs to be amended to reflect that.
To reflect.
So Nils,
What?
you're saying
Yeah.
that if he's putting fill in as part of a construction permit for the restaurant, it would be okay, but if he's putting fill in that's not tied into the current allowed use of DD3, then basically he would have to come to the planning board.
Correct. There'd need to be a code amendment to allow that.
Because of the old zoning
Well,
being so.
no, I wanted to change it, the building, but I wasn't permitted to change it to commercial. So it's currently bar restaurant. That's the only thing that's permitted there. So that's what's happening. Right, it's like we can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways.
But you'd still have to get a construction permit. Either way. I mean, that one, you would just go and get a building.
Yeah, I would just.
A building
that's fine.
permit for
I
doing the
shouldn't have to go
site
through the
prep
planning
work.
board to.
Yeah.
I can put a bar and restaurant in anything. And I also need to get a delineation before anything happens, even on the lots that don't have any wetland impact. That was another thing that wrong. So it needs to be the parent, I assume when you say parent lot, it's the whole lot.
Right.
So I need to have a full wetland delineation done on the entire lot. Even if I'm building nowhere near a wetland. That, I have that.
Niels, is that the right interpretation?
That is correct because there are wetlands to the north and to the south, and their buffers may extend onto all parcels affected. They definitely affect parcels. Let me pull up the map here.
Potentially 1, 4, and 3. So if he did something with 2 that has no wetlands involved with it, that still is required because it's essentially a blanket for the whole assembly.
Yeah, I would imagine, parcels 1, 3, and 4 will be affected. Hopefully parcel 2 isn't.
No, parcel 2 is in the middle on the Halseyville side.
Yep.
I mean,
And
The buffer-
even though there is a wetland on the opposite side of Halseyville, the town zoning code is silent on this, but most municipalities consider that improvement of Halseyville to stop the buffer, so there wouldn't be any buffer impeding onto parcel 2 from across the street.
do I have to delineate another property?
No,
He's saying you don't.
but it's once you get one delineation done for the entire site, you just add a piece of paperwork along everything else. Like depending on which property you're trying to build first, really drives part of the puzzle.
Well,
Or do all.
like some of these properties are gonna be nowhere near, even though parcel 3, for example, has a stream on it. House will be like well outside of any reasonable buffer. But it still needs to have a delineation done. So if this was already subdivided, someone bought this property and put in a building permit, would they have to have a delineation done?
Yes,
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Where's my time machine to go back and not buy this thing?
unfortunately,
Time sucking nightmare.
Oh,
It
well,
really is.
yeah.
Okay.
back then to us,
Yes.
we have a motion to approve.
I made the motion.
All right,
So we need
I
a second.
second it.
all right,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right. So once we get the numbers straightened out in paragraph 3 and get the drawings deciphered exactly what the acreage is. It's- Niels, you'll need to get a hold of me and let me know when to come in to sign it.
Is there gonna be a language change on 14? Because
What was it? Yeah.
right now, this like holds me into planning board approval for anything I do on that. Whether or not I'm changing it, or whether or not.
On the residual DD3 part.
Yeah,
Oh,
No, I think it's that if you're gonna do fill and it's tied, you know, in some way it's tied into the bar restaurant and, you know, prepping a site for that, then you need a permit of some kind
but
from,
not a planning board.
but not planning board.
So
Yeah.
that, I'd like that to be made clear, because the way it's written right now. That understanding is not clear.
Niels,
well, it says as maybe.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if it's helpful for the board, since you already voted on it, the last four words as may be applicable, I think works in this case, and then we can just cover it in the minutes with Lori. There can be a stipulation that clarifies that, you know, there's discussion on condition number 14 that as long as fill associated with a construction permit for the restaurant and or trailer would be exempt from needing town board or plan board approvals. That way it's on the record.
Mhm.
does that work for you?
Sure.
Right.
That wasn't convincing. But
I understand, this has been a long slog, yeah, this is. In that case, you're finally approved for the subdivision. The major subdivision,
So do I, now does this go in front of the town board, or is this done?
no,
That's
done. You got one thing finally done, yeah.
on the fill, the comprehensive plan gets approved and you have the opportunity to.
Well,
Mm.
this,
Then I'll be interested to know if I still need to go in front of a planning board.
well, when you come back to actually building the houses, you know, on the individual lots. You'll get
That won't be planning board, right? I mean, this says just parcel 4,
Right,
right,
that's just building.
right. But the comp plan in and of itself won't change it.
No, that's why it'll have to go back to the town board
Right,
for
right,
that at this point.
No,
But-
yeah, right.
That would be worth it.
This is another battle. So I have this, but it may need to be corrected if those. Thank you guys for your time, I appreciate it.
all right. Yeah, you'll need to work out then with lead dress or what the actual story.
I
is.
will, I'm gonna see if they pick up right now.
All right, okay, we're at, yeah, we got through that. Next is the open development area code amendment. All right. Those, but I'm using a numbers guy, I didn't even pick up on that minor 3 acre difference.
Inconsequential in the greater scheme of things.
All right,
It's
Unless you're paying by the acre.
Well, I wonder like if that's
Yeah,
tied into his tax rate.
I'm sure it is.
And, you know, if it's on based on the 14 or the 11 and.
Of course it is, yeah. That's what everybody, does the town have a block on their system? Cause I can't get any of the New York State government sites.
you could.
Oh,
Cause I was trying to look up the grading part and I can't get into any sites at all. I mean, I can get into the internet, but all the other tax maps, all of those are being blocked.
I think I have them.
Well, the big thing with it is if you disturb more than
an acre.
an
Well,
acre, you've got to go through the stormwater stuff,
Yeah.
no matter what
Yeah,
you're
well,
doing.
that's why-
Oh,
whether
it's disturbed more than they
Yeah.
already, just
So-
putting all the stuff in.
Yeah, so I mean, that's,
But there is something called in the Blue Book, which has all the regulations for everything. And I do have it, but I can't get the updated one because I can't seem to get through. But they have, like, for grading, for filling, they have all the laws and regulations that you have to go through. And that's for the state.
Hmm.
That's when you need an attorney sitting here.
I know.
All right, are we ready to jump into
Move
the
on.
next one? Okay. Town
Please.
board received a recommendation from town legal to create a local law to establish criteria for making decisions related to ODAs. And requested the planning board provide recommendations of criteria and documentation that should be considered. So we've been through this a couple times and Niels has put together this resolution 2026-009. So I think that's. So I guess the way to do this, I'll move draft resolution 2026-009 for discussion on the draft resolution. Do I have a second?
Second.
Yep.
All right. All in favor? Okay. So the first part is just kind of the history of how we got here. And then,
Wait, shouldn't vote on it.
no,
Discussion.
we're still in the discussion area on this. And that, to get into all the details on it here. To figure out what we gave Niels, how it got incorporated into here.
So I have a couple of questions.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's under Exhibit A. It talks about a landlocked tax map parcel and the definition of that, and then the open development area. And it says a landlocked tax map parcel where permits may be issued for the erection of residential structures or improvements. But on the other part that we've been talking about, it talks about there already being a primary residence on it to be considered as an ODA. Should that be in here on the definition?
Well,
I mean, there's the ODA under state law, but then there's what we're talking about, and I think if we're gonna make an
Yeah.
ODA.
Yeah, I thought
We did
we
mention
agreed.
that, and then somehow it was removed for some reason.
Wait, I thought we
Yeah.
agreed that it had to have a dwelling to
Yeah.
preclude somebody subdividing, having subdivisions and building after the fact.
Right, and
Everything
it
needs to
only pertains to
lots that
lots that
already have
have
houses on.
residential on it now.
Right. And a residence or a property. Yeah, which I think that's sense,
That was from back on the 18.
Yeah.
right?
Well, it does have this
Under
section shall
applicability.
only apply to legally
Yeah.
established
Yeah, that was
landlocked
one of-
Okay,
parcels.
that makes sense, because
Yeah.
I don't know if you can redefine what an ODA is anyway.
Right.
Right, and the ODA comes from the New York State.
Yeah. Okay, I take it back, ignore me.
Well, no, you were right, because it does have to say that in there,
Yeah.
otherwise anybody can.
Well, and that, it's in here under the standards in establishing an ODA, the town board shall determine the following. The subject parcel was legally established and has a legally established principal dwelling. So,
Right, it's in there.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's just in there in a different area.
right. Well, the first part up there, those first two are really meant to go to Article 212-22
Definitions.
definition, because there's nothing in there right now that talks about either a landlocked
Right.
tax map parcel or an open development area. And that's why I created those two definitions to go to the definition part of the zoning. So they're covered in there. And then under essentially the implementation of it back here, the standards for it is where we want to deal with the ones that already exist. You know, the landlocked properties.
Well, that's listed, yes. That's-
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question about standards number 6.
Okay,
Any land disturbance within the ODA and within a slope overlay or unique natural shall be subject to site plan approval. That's already in zone. Right? Why are we saying it here? Why do we,
Pointed out specifically, well, part of it is because the road to get there goes across multiple properties in most
Mhm.
cases.
right?
So if you gotta improve the road to be able to meet, to get vehicle access and that sort of stuff.
So this is only if it's a road improvement.
I think that's what it would, that's where it came from the last time there.
I know, that's why I was confused.
Yeah, because if you're actually working on the individual property itself, then it goes into the regular building permit and all that, but you don't normally have this extended
road.
driveway that goes across, in some cases, 4 or 5 different properties before it gets there.
So should we say that, say any land disturbance, if any land disturbance is required for the
Access
access.
road,
maintenance and support?
Well, it does say that. You're talking about the standards?
yeah,
Standards
Number 3.
6.
Oh,
well,
yeah, but number 3 is the driveway will consist of asphalt, other hard surface or whatever.
Right. But in 6, we're saying that it's,
Well,
that you should also take into consideration the planning board if it's in the slope overlay natural
Mhm.
area.
Yeah,
But we don't say specifically it's for the driveway. It looks kind of like we're just repeating. Of course, if it
the
were in the
existing
natural,
zoning for
Yeah.
regular building.
yeah.
yeah. So
well,
just questioning.
it shouldn't be a new road or driveway under the ODA because it's outside the property boundaries of the ODA. It's going to be a separate
That's a good point.
project, really. I mean, they're going to
Yeah.
need to come in to get a permit,
Oh, yeah, to put in a roadway.
put in a
sure.
road or a
Well-
new drive or something.
Yeah,
Well, maybe for the part that's on their property.
Well, on
Lot
their
of times
property,
they-
it's covered by 6.
Yeah,
It's the stuff that's off of their property on somebody else's property.
yeah.
right?
right.
Yeah, cause most of these
Okay.
roads are going down, like all the lakeshore stuff are in steep areas going down across
Yeah.
multiple
Right.
properties to get there.
And if
Yeah.
you had another one that was on the flat, it would just really fall under a normal
Right,
building permit.
right, exactly. Okay.
And if they're gonna put a
So-
new roadway in,
Well, I'm just saying that maybe we should say specifically this refers to.
they probably just put it in, or it's probably in there just to clarify.
Okay,
Number 6.
but it doesn't really clarify that you gotta do that for the driveway too, folks.
Any
In
land
my mind.
disturbance,
Yeah,
I would consider that land disturbance.
I would too. But
Well,
we're being
The first two,
redundant for
the first
austerity.
two ODAs they created included all the properties in that are accessed off the same road. The 2 that they're in the process of doing right now, just south of the yacht club, are just the individual properties without all the rest of it and the access road going up the hill and that sort of stuff. So they're kind of mixing the way we're doing this,
Yeah.
we recommended that they do that whole group of 5 or 6 properties at one time, but the town board decided to just go with the 2 individual properties.
Mhm. Okay. So if in general you think that that's. Okay. I'm just wondering if it'll get lost and hopefully. I guess if we say it there. I'm just thinking it wouldn't hurt to say including the driveway. Yeah. Would be okay, should be helpful, would be helpful. Would,
So it would say then all the
any land disturbance within the ODA, including the driveway. And within the slope over, and if it's in,
Then it's one of those things, and what don't you list? I mean, does that include the well and septic? When they put those in, does that include any extension to the house? Does it include a patio or a deck?
Mhm.
Well, anything
Right.
within the
That's why
individual property is
Either
gonna be
put that in
separate.
or
building
don't put it in
permits.
at all. So then don't put it in at all. right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
leave it the way it currently is.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no, leave it out. 6.
Oh,
Oh, no, I think it's gotta be in there,
Oh,
because
yeah.
really it's going to the slope overlay area and the unique natural area, that if you're working in those areas, it has to come to the planning.
But that's true for a septic system. James.
Yeah, as
No,
long as
for
it's
anything.
on anything on that
Yeah.
line, it's gotta come in.
It's in zoning already. That's my point.
I don't know if it really is.
What? Oh, sure, in the unis, yeah,
Let's see, zoning. What are we looking for here?
well, you're either in the lake shore or the conservation zone,
right.
suck up the bulk of the unique natural areas. There is one out on the west side of town out there off of between 227 and Indian Fort Road and Waterberg Road. In that chunk of ground in there, there is another unique natural area out there.
But I think
But-
because it's a unique natural area, it has to come to plan.
Yeah, I think
Planning
if
board.
it. Niels, do you see any issue? We're talking about under the standards, number 6 under there.
Is that really necessary? I mean, it doesn't put it in, I guess, but.
So
Excuse me.
how I would read and interpret this is any ODA that is not essentially within a lakeshore or conservation zone, because those are pretty much the areas under code that require planning board review, or if they're in a natural area or slope area, the slope overlay area would not go to the planning board for review. So if you want to,
Okay,
if the planning board wants all ODAs to come before the planning board review for any land disturbance, and we can take out that last part.
so we do want them to come for driveways. In a non-zoned uni area. Is what we're saying. Right, Niels?
I guess this is for you guys to deliberate. Like if you want to, if you think the planning board should review any land disturbance within an ODA, then we should strike out the last part that says and within a slope overlay area and or unique natural area. But if you want to keep it kind of similar to how the current zoning code is, to where your site plan review is triggered because of slope overlay areas and unique natural areas, then leave that as it is.
Well, since the bulk of these are on the lake shore and that sort of stuff, I think we would want to take a look at it when they're working on it.
But we would be because it's zoning. Because of regular zone. And we want to look at the Indian Fort,
Yeah,
so then we should leave it in.
I think so.
Why would we want to we don't look at Indian Fort for any other purpose? Like, they can build a accessory building and we wouldn't look at it.
Yeah, as long as it met the regular zoning for the property they're on.
Right, why would we look at a driveway?
Yeah,
Because they all have driveways.
They all have driveways, but this is a different kind of driveway.
this is a shared driveway.
This
with
is a shared
bulk.
driveway that's not coming off of a
Okay,
public.
so I
road.
guess I'm confused about what are we looking at it for? We're looking at it if it's because we're worried about unis or just to protect the area. Right,
I would like to see all the ODAs, at least at the beginning, until they do or do not get written into
Established.
zoning as a way to allow development where they can get it codified more. If there's only 1 or 2 other ones in the town that could possibly happen, I think that
yeah, right, I know.
two projects would not be a big inconvenience for us or for the applicant.
Well, there's actually about 12 or 14 or something like that. I put the whole list together with
Yeah, I
the
know,
groups
yeah.
and properties that could fall into this.
What?
So driveway and parking in Lakeshore. It says walkways in unique natural areas, well, driveways, parking areas or sloped overlay areas. Site plan review procedure shall be followed. And the planning board may seek recommendations from a licensed engineer selected by the town and paid for by the applicant. So the line that's in there actually should stay number 6. Because this is only for driveway. I didn't find anything for the entire property yet. When it comes to the entire property, like building, it goes to the zoning officer. It doesn't come to the planning board.
Not, oh, if it's a unique natural area only, not in the lakeshore or conservation zone.
No, in the Lakeshore Conservation Zone. There are sections that say that it comes to the planning board, but overall, it usually goes to the zoning. Head of zoning, Niels, and he would take care of it.
Oh, wait a minute.
Or Mark.
No,
Or
that's
Mark.
what, they're all coming to us.
Not always.
Yeah, they,
Well, we haven't had really any,
Well, the one we just did at 1102 Teganic
yeah,
is in a unique natural area and the conservation zone both. And there were no setbacks on that property that it did meet, but we still
it came
site
to
plan
us
review
because it
for
was
us.
in the conservation zone.
right, but
I
if
think
it did
everything-
have all the setbacks, then they wouldn't have to come to us.
No.
Well,
they
it met
do.
all setbacks and everything
Yeah.
else.
Just a building permit, that's all they need.
No, no, they have to come to us. Niels.
Linda's right. Yeah.
Oh, is she? Okay.
It's scrolled away in a bad place, but if you're looking for like accessory structures, it says it's scrolled away in there that says if it's in a unique natural area or steep slope, it still needs site plan review by the planning board.
Okay, yeah, I didn't find it and I was reading through the whole thing. It must be scrolled away here somewhere.
Yeah, it's yeah.
So do we leave number 6 as is? And
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I just really wanted to understand why we had it in there, and
Yeah.
I think that conversation is important for us to have.
well, kind of the background on this, Rebecca Snyder was part of the planning board in
Mhm.
2015 when this was created, where most of
Mhm.
this came from.
Mhm.
And she was particularly sensitive to stuff in
Oh,
those
yeah.
areas.
Yeah,
You're right. So I guess any other discussion on this then? Approve it, send it back to the town board,
Yep,
see what happens. In that case, let's see.
well, wait a second, though, but this wasn't your situation where it's not in it, and we want to see it in the interim.
well, like,
It doesn't address that. Cause this sounds definitely like it's only if it's in the slope overlay naturally. So why don't we just say any land disturbance needs to come to the plan? Regarding
Any land
driveway
disturbance associated
with a
with
driveway,
the ODA
yeah,
needs to come to the planning board.
And that's what it says in 6 right now.
Well,
Oh.
no, it says and
And-
within,
Oh, and.
so it's inclusive of the slope overlay
Right.
and or unique natural area.
So if we just took that part out,
Yeah,
Yeah.
just stop it at the ODA and then go shall be subject
yeah,
to the site plan approval by the planning board. But do we get that? Is there something in there that says we have to see them all?
no, that works,
That works, okay.
I think that works.
Yeah, because the ODA is actually the whole thing, and not the
Yeah,
individual
right.
lot.
so then number 6 becomes any land disturbance within the ODA. Shall be subject to site plan approval by the planning board.
Well, the driveway, the access. So any land disturbance caused by
No, any land disturbance within the ODA, I think we should, if, then they all come to us anyway.
So any land disturbance at any time, like if they're just putting them. Yeah,
Well, they won't need a permit if they're not doing anything.
no. I mean, an accessory building, something regularly permitted area,
Within an ODA,
yeah, within an ODA.
there is no regularly permitted things within an ODA
At all,
at this
right now.
point,
Oh, okay.
So,
Got, right.
right? Because there are no
Exactly. Yeah,
ODAs,
right,
so
right,
when you
right.
make the ODA.
So any development that happens in an.
Well, there are two existing ODAs with about 5 properties each.
Right, but
So
But-
if they want to work on those, because the ODA already exists.
same thing.
Yeah,
I mean, what,
I
think,
don't think it'll overload us or anything.
no, I don't, I mean, what are they can't move the driveway. I mean,
well, and it's gonna be for more. I mean, I don't know how many times they're gonna stick an accessory dwelling in or something.
Yeah.
And then we want to
Yeah.
see those anyways.
Or a tram.
So then we
Into
just simply leave it as a blanket, any land disturbance within the ODA. Shall be subject to the site plan, shall be subject to site plan approval by the planning
Yeah,
board.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's,
All right,
most of them would be like most of the ones we look at, it's looking at it for 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is contingent because of the,
And it'll be
official
interesting to
ODA.
see how
Yeah, right,
Lori, do
they
you,
advance.
yeah.
do you have access to that document? So you can fix number 6?
Reshare it.
Okay, you got it, all right. Then.
There we go.
With that change. Anything else?
Just reading
No,
through.
okay.
It is sort of swirled away here because it
Yeah.
refers to something else in the Lake Shore.
Okay,
Right,
let's see. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2026-009 as amended?
So moved.
All right. And you get to be the reader. What do you actually have to read it here?
oh,
That's an exhibit. I don't think.
Where do we go?
yeah, right.
It's all on the front
Well,
page.
you
Just do this
the
now.
first part up there and then,
Planning Board Resolution number 2026-009, a resolution recommending that the town board amend the town zoning code related to open development areas. Now therefore, the planning board resolves the following. 1, the planning board recommends the town board amend the town zoning code to establish a process for considering ODAs for existing landlocked parcels identified in the 2025 tax maps for the town of Ulysses that already have a principal dwelling unit on the property and as recommended
recommended.
in Exhibit A attached hereto. 2, the planning board further recommends the town board consider ODAs as an alternative type of subdivision when working on a housing action plan and other research as needed to help implement the 2045 comprehensive plan.
Okay. So one other change then, Lori, is recommended instead of past tense instead of recommend in number 1.
On the first page for.
Mhm.
Yeah, number 1 is the last sentence in there. It goes property and as recommended in exhibit A, it's attached here too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that takes care of that. Now, where am I at?
Then we have to
here?
vote. We have to vote.
Yes, before we forget. Okay,
Right.
all in favor?
Aye.
Stick with the rules.
Did we do a second?
I was just gonna ask you, right?
I'll be second.
Yeah.
We should just assign that at the beginning of the meeting, and we don't ever have to do it.
You got it tonight. And-
Resident second.
All right. A little bit loose here sometimes, so. All right, next is the open, well, let's see, where are we at here? Next is town board request for comments on draft zoning code definitions related to data centers. Town board is interested in amending the town zoning code to include definitions for data and cyber mining centers. On March 24th, 2026, town board passed resolution 2026-069, requesting the planning board provide feedback on the draft definitions presented by the town supervisor. So someplace we have the definitions there.
Yeah, they were there.
Were they in the?
Yeah,
On
the
line.
puppy.
Should be just, I think.
I don't know.
Oh,
I
wait.
may not have been here tonight. I might have brought that with me.
Yeah,
I
Google, I
printed it
don't-
earlier.
I know, I've seen it, but
Yeah.
It's this
Yeah.
one. It's 9-009.
That's the one we just did.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the other ones? No one.
There's just a memo, the staff.
yeah,
But there were definitions.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a.
Yeah. Do we have to go online to get? the
Yes, yes, I have them here.
You want me to print them or is there be okay?
Well, let me see if we can get there.
I have mine.
That one. That's mine. It was online there.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, I got it here. Dinosaur catching up.
See, the print one is the one that's here. Look at that dinosaur.
I probably printed it out at home and forgot to bring it with me.
You want me to go get this? Part?
Well, I think we've all got it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
You don't
I don't
need,
think-
you don't want her to come back. Okay.
Oh,
don't-
oh, no,
don't-
unless we
I
get
think
stuck.
they're all
Yeah.
pretty-
They're pretty straightforward, I think.
Chances of one coming into Ulysses is almost impossible because they have to be near water.
So. Yeah, these are fine. I think they're naive, but yeah, sure, put them in there. But
Yeah.
there's a thousand ways to circumvent these.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, a good lawyer can get around anything.
Well,
And
the
besides-
easiest way is gonna go to Seneca County.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, right.
let's be honest here.
Yeah.
And so if you really wanted, I mean, my belief. So we're giving feedback. If our request was just to talk about these, fine, they are. That's what they are. I
Yeah,
don't understand what cryptocurrency definition.
that's the
has to
same
do
thing.
with
That's
anything.
the same thing. Lots of
No.
computers.
No, I know, but yeah, the data mine, yeah, but
Yeah.
not the definition of cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Anyway, but what we're really concerned about is water usage, noise, electric usage,
Mhm.
and one other, which I've immediately forgotten. Anyway, those are the things that we really care about. And if we have zoning and somebody were putting, and we had an area where a data center
Yeah.
would go, we
Yeah.
would, under any circumstances, restrict how much electricity you're gonna use, how much, and look at how it's gonna fit in the
Has
grid.
nothing,
Look at what you're gonna do with the water.
the state gets involved
Yeah.
when it comes to.
But they
water.
don't yet.
No,
Yeah.
oh, yes, they do.
No, well,
In
there's
Lansing, in Lansing, they have to go through the state for that.
For the water withdrawal.
Yeah.
for the water withdrawal, there's
Yeah.
for the DEC,
Yeah.
yeah, there was a withdrawal amount.
Right,
But then they said they didn't have to pay attention to that because they weren't gonna put it back in. So they're just gonna withdraw the water and they're gonna evaporate. Are you,
No, the
Anybody.
withdrawal, they'll have to get a permit for the withdrawal.
yeah, for the.
oh, all right, maybe they
Because of
will.
And
fisheries and
They
everything.
can't,
That's-
it's almost impossible to evaporate the amount of water that they're going to be
Well, that's what
using.
they said they were gonna do.
Well, that means, will have to be heated somehow to make steam to get rid of it, so.
There you go.
Well, it's
For under one
cooling the
megawatt.
electronic
Yeah,
equipment.
yeah,
that
To
Yeah,
give you an idea, I did a lot of research, but not on data centers, but on something else that does the same thing, generates electricity. So they would put up a stack and all the water vapor would go up the stack.
Uh-huh,
In the winter, it snows all around that area.
yeah,
In the summer, it rains all around that area because there's a constant flow of steam coming up. And depending on which way the wind is blowing, you're either gonna get rain or snow.
It's always going.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying,
It's
you know,
going the
that's,
other
that's
way.
what happens
Right,
when they evaporate it, because they don't wanna spend the money to put pumps back in and put it back into the lake and cool it, because now they have to put in cooling towers.
mhm,
That's one of the big expenses is the cooling towers. So yes, they want to evaporate it if they can.
yeah, apparently that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
On this one, that was it, but they're gonna take 400 megawatts, they're claiming that, well, somebody else is putting in a cells for 65 megawatts, they need 400 megawatts. So that's coming from NYSEG.
they need a lot of power. And
I know.
usually what happens is, like in Lansing, the grid in Lansing, let's say they need for the entire town, 400 megawatts to run the town.
Yeah,
So that's what is being paid for. Anything beyond that, they have to go get, which means they have to buy more power. And if
who
they,
buys?
the electric
Oh,
company,
I mean,
the electric company.
yeah, Lansing
Not,
does,
yeah,
yeah.
not the data center, the electric company. They have to go out and
However-
buy new power, which could cost them twice as much as what they're generating now. So that's
Right.
why the prices usually in towns that have data centers go up in price, because the company has to buy more that they
So how
never
do you,
use.
how do you change that?
You can't,
Because, right, you don't want the prices to go up for people, so you restrict the business on the amount of electricity they can pull
right,
from your area, right?
right.
I mean, those are the things
I don't
we
know
need
if you
to
can do
look
that.
at. Right,
I don't
but
think.
those
you
are
can.
the
Yeah, because
things.
when I'm in charge of the grid.
But
Right.
this isn't gonna stop anything.
No.
I mean, anybody with a big
Well-
server room could be called a data center. you know?
Well, that's why
and
the
stuff.
two definitions in there, whether the
Yeah.
data is related just specifically to support an existing business. That's the first definition they've
Right,
got
yeah.
in there, so that
It's
So-
the last line of the second one
Yeah.
is the one that sets it apart, which is equipment and accessories customary to data centers, including but not limited to air handlers, power generators, water cooling, and storage facilities, utility. So it's the size of it and the use of
Yeah,
it
she's
that's
back
gonna
right on time.
kick it into the
Yeah.
definition.
But that's not what they specify, yeah, but that's what you need in the zoning,
Right,
but you don't, but this definition isn't gonna be to you.
is what?
This doesn't give it, what's really the constraint is if you restrict
Hmm.
those parameters.
But
As
you don't,
opposed to the
most of the
definition.
time, you don't have legal right to
The
do
only
that.
thing that's missing is what you mentioned before, noise, because some data centers, if they find a piece of property and they're not near water, they use air conditioners.
Mhm,
Big air conditioners,
Mhm.
really big ones.
right,
And the hum
that's what's
from,
happening in Phoenix,
right, and the hum from those can be heard from miles around.
yeah, I know.
So something of that nature should be, I know they say power cooling, but it also should be, well, water cooling. See, they say water cooling. It also should say something like air conditioning, because
Well, it's got air handlers.
it does.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right
Oh, did I
before,
miss that?
right before power generators.
Right,
Oh. But not limited to air handlers, power generators, water cooling.
Okay,
storage,
I'm sorry, I must have just gone over it real
Yeah.
quick. Because that's one of the big things that they've been doing is in some areas, they have been using refrigeration to keep them going instead of water, because they can't get close to water. And they're putting them in
Really
everywhere.
adds a lot to the power bill.
well, they,
But see, they don't care because they're getting paid for all of that. They're making a lot of money. It's the people around there that have to come up with a lot of money.
Yeah,
When the
Because
rates
their
go up.
power goes up in price.
right,
Yeah,
and
'cause
those are the things.
that's like wintertime electric rates, when you look at the generation rate that goes from 12 cents a kilowatt hour to 20 cents a kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
Because everybody was maxing out the usage when it was 10 degrees around here.
Oh,
And they have to buy it from wherever they can get it
Right.
to fill in.
yeah, right, and that's what happens with the data centers, they have to buy it, and they have to charge you for it.
Mhm.
Even though the data center doesn't care because they make more than enough money.
Mhm.
Have you ever been in a large data center?
I ran one.
Did you?
The
Yeah.
coal
Big,
plant,
a
no,
large one?
Yeah,
Oh, so you know.
for
what
chambers
it-
or for manufacturing site and
Okay.
for corporate headquarters for DuPont. That I didn't run that whole part, but I did for one of their businesses. And the I know a lot about raised floor spaces,
Yeah.
and I know the power requirements and that type of thing, and it's just gotten not probably more than geometrically more complicated and costly to run them. And I also believe that there's many ways to get around these kinds of definitions, and that's the thing that really worries me. Because and then if somebody just has a large server,
Yeah,
they need
a
requirements.
a
too,
room
how to
this
get around
size with
to that.
servers, you would need
Yeah.
quite a large air handler just to cool this area.
Right,
Because we had one about this size in the hospital, and we had 3 or 4 air handlers just to keep that cool.
right. Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
huge. That's the whole game.
Yeah,
And you have backup, you have redundancy, you have all of that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. So it goes over and over again. And Lansing failed, they, what.
I don't think they failed, I think they want it. I mean,
There's a bunch of people that didn't want it.
yeah, but I mean, the
Yeah.
other half did, and it's
Yeah.
the same reason the plant is there in
it's
the
gonna
first
go in
place, and
one
the
way or the
same
other.
reason the mall is over there, and it's income for the
I
town.
know.
I mean,
But I'm going from, I think we're concerned because this town is
Hmm.
not because they want it.
Yeah,
But this is a way, if you do this and it stays at that, with just definitions, there'll be a way to get around them.
So
if they
that
want to.
is, I mean, this was recommended to us as the best method to go by our attorney because there is not a loophole with the definitions, and we are free to change the definitions or add to it. But by including definitions in our zoning code and then not allowing them, like I said before, in the zoning districts, it strictly prohibits them. So that there is no workaround. This is exactly what Dryden just did.
Mhm.
And so it's almost word
See,
for
I
word,
don't
I
see
think.
how that, because there's no
actually, the first
constraints, there's
line,
no thresholds involved, so I don't see how that works, because, if you just start
Well,
arguing
each
about.
of our different
Yeah.
zoning areas list the allowable things that can happen in that zoning area.
Right.
And because these defined things are not anywhere in that list.
Well, that's true, yeah,
And it
That's
says,
but-
if
how
it's
you
not
go about
listed here, it's
precluding it.
but if they
prohibited.
call it something, if they can make you believe it's something else legally, right?
right,
That does, if it walks like a duck,
yeah,
yeah,
oh, yeah.
but they'll come up with a goose somehow.
But it does say in the first line, that any building structure used to store, manage, process, or transmit digital data for business use.
Mhm.
So that would mean any business, really.
Yeah, right.
Even if somebody opens up on 96 and puts in a, whatever they want to put in there, and they have a data room, they're gonna have to come to us to get it approved.
Well, yeah,
I'm just saying, just
That
the
right.
data itself, if this goes into effect, just the data room itself would have to come, they would have to come here.
and that's what they all do. You have server rooms,
Well,
know.
most businesses years ago, you didn't have to apply for a
Right.
data room, it's part of business.
Right.
so,
I mean, so they could come to the ZBA, to come to the town board, come to you guys, go to the ZBA, but then it'd be opening up to all public hearings that are required.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantee, because we're specifically defining it in the zoning code,
Yeah.
that they could get it. They'd have to prove why they're
Why
allowed to
they
do
need
it.
such a big data center. I mean, every business has a small data center, a couple of servers somewhere. But let's say a company comes in and they, put a room this size, and really they only have 5 employees. You start to wonder why they have a room this big, right?
Yes.
So that's why they would have to come to us. We would have to ask, why, what are you using? What's going through that?
Yeah, yeah, why aren't you going to Google?
Right, exactly, yeah. Well, why do you have, 100 servers?
Why are you doing it?
Because we were trying to use that huge AI center in the Middle East and
Yeah.
Iran blew it up.
Yeah. Exactly.
So this seems
See.
like, and you guys, I mean, you can reach out to Nate too and get his thoughts, and I don't know if Neil's chimed in, but this is what the town board thought was a very good step in
Oh, I think.
not
it's
allowing them
definitely-
to come
So-
through
Yeah,
without doing
just-
moratoriums, because moratoriums get weird sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we were trying to stay away from a moratorium and go right to this.
Right, so this is a good stop, and seriously, I really thought that they had. According to the articles, it read like they had a no data center. And they had a data center definition, so they were saying, Lansing was saying, well, we're not a data center. We're a lab, a research laboratory. For AI machines, of course, but.
Yeah, I know, that's what,
Right.
that's what they're trying to do, is to
Right.
change the definition.
So I really thought they had the definition on, unlike what you said, so that does, Nate thinks
Yeah,
that
I'd have
could
to
have
go back.
stopped them. Then
Yeah,
cause I didn't understand why they were running around saying, we're all have, a lab, a laboratory and that type of thing. So those are but I think somehow. And I'm kind of at a loss if you can't control it, and if what you're saying is right, you
Because
can't, there's no way we could zone in water usage requirements or.
it would come up during seeker. And
Yeah,
it
well-
would get kicked in, but you can't, I mean, how can you tell somebody that, if the water's available, they can't use it? I mean, if you have zoning that allows the use,
right,
then they can get the electricity there, if they can get the water there and everything,
right.
you can't regulate that.
And.
I mean,
But
if somebody's gonna be on
as long
town
as they're
water
not
and the
putting
town
it
has
back.
water
Yeah, right,
available, well, that's where DEC comes in. DEC is in charge of that, and the towns, because of the technical pieces.
yeah,
So-
right.
Yeah, 'cause
And then
if
the
you want
other,
other businesses to exist, they all need the same sort of utilities. And so that's where you really can't just single out.
so then there's the noise, right?
Seeker.
Is right, and then there's. But, yeah, so those are the things we need to be aware of and have like we need to have in our minds what the thresholds on those are. Is 95 decibels enough? A limit, an adequate limit?
we don't have a
Is-
noise,
No.
I know,
we
but-
talked about it years ago, and then it kind of.
Actually, I have one here that I once came up with,
Right.
but we went to a different direction, so I still have it.
but those are the kinds of constraints that we need to think about, rather, at the end of the day, when somebody actually comes, those are the things you want to know. And if anybody puts any kind of business, that's gonna be noisy over so much. It's
Well,
not
there-
for data centers.
Where it says data center in the center, we could change that, say data center, labs. No, really, I mean, you could put that in, any type of, or,
Well, we want to be very, I don't know if, I mean, because Cornell could have a farm lab that wants to come here, so
Yeah.
that.
but they would still have to. I mean, if you put this up data center, then they would have to still come here, it doesn't matter what it is, it's what, if they're
Well, I'm saying like a
transmitting,
farm, like a lab,
they're still transmitting data back and forth, they'd have to
a
come.
farm
to-
lab?
No,
Yeah.
she's
No,
saying
no,
that.
I'm not talking about like an agricultural farm.
Oh, yeah, okay,
So like having like a lab, just the
Yeah.
word lab, I
Yeah.
want to be very careful that we're like focusing in on the data center.
but like they did in Lansing, they're calling their project a lab.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing here, if you don't.
No,
put it-
they're calling it, they ended up in the end appealing. to
They
cate-
ended up, yeah, they
As,
had to.
as general processing.
Right, now it's
processing.
general processing, but it
Right,
was a
yeah.
lab at one point, and they couldn't get around it that
Yeah,
way, so they
that
went
was
to
one of them,
something
yeah,
else,
that's the one I read about, I didn't see the general problem.
Yeah, well, that's.
No, I know.
Yeah.
When I was reading more details on,
I mean, they're trying
Right.
every trick they can to get it through.
just by name. when it's really, how does it behave that we're worried about, not the name of it, under any circumstances.
Well, if that
So,
does go.
but the biggest one right
Yeah.
now is the electricity. Yeah. And the
Well, also-
law and the impact on.
Also, if when you're on the lake and because it's not that
Oh,
far
yeah,
from here,
right.
you'll see the steam all the time. It will come, I mean, the steam's gonna go everywhere.
Well,
When the
that's
wind
true.
changes, it could come right over your house. And like I
Right.
said, that happens, people have reported rain and snow. In the winter, you'll get snow, in the summer, you'll get rain.
Right,
I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
we have a lot of control on limiting what people can get for water or use for electricity for any type of business, because
you
that
can't.
really is NICEAG and
The
Fulton
only,
Point
the
and
only
the
way
water
you could,
sources.
but some of it is under economic impact.
Right, so in seeker, we'd have to evaluate it and see what the impact is, and yes, we could have them evaluate what the cost
I mean,
of
that's the-
increases of electricity would be
Yeah.
to the surrounding community with the business, but that would be any business really.
Mhm.
From a gym to a,
yeah,
anything.
right,
Might be needing more electricity than,
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to,
so.
it would get ugly and it would go to court, but you know, you'd have to say under seeker that the economic impact to the community is this much per person.
Yeah.
You know, and you'd have to say, well, it's an unacceptable impact. The only way you can mitigate that is to pay for that increase, make them pay for that
Yeah.
increase.
And they are now, like, the state is looking at a state moratorium on data centers right now, like statewide. But they're also looking at requiring data centers to generate their own electricity on site.
The
So
only
they're
thing you
not
could-
pulling.
The only thing
Yeah.
you could put in here is, and I don't think I saw anything like that, the usage of electricity, large amounts of electricity.
right.
Cause that would
That's
cut,
still
that
not
would
a
cut them
control,
right off at the
But we
knees.
don't have control over that.
Well, you actually,
That's New York ISO.
I know you don't
the
have
NICEAG
control.
Or the local utility.
but I know you don't have control over it, but it does impact the people who live around it because they're gonna have to buy electricity, which means your electricity is gonna go up in price.
Right, which is where it would come in seeker, but I don't know if we legally can put that in a definition.
I know, yeah.
We
You
can-
don't
might
know,
be a
you don't have
question.
any way to even
That
know
would
what the
be-
increase is gonna be.
That might be a
at
question for,
time.
we can ask Nate, is if we could put,
Well,
Right.
they've got 400 megawatts on it.
Well,
Alright.
for now, but I
Yeah.
mean, I don't-
100 is nothing.
yeah.
Our generators at the hospital were 400.
I know.
That you just ran the elevators. That was 400 for the elevators. They need a lot more than 400.
I know,
They're gonna be running into
especially evaporating
Yeah.
on top of it.
Oh, yeah.
It would be,
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how that all develops in terms of property tax and
Yeah.
other costs that they
Yeah.
assess them to pay for things. I mean, because they made out great with the power plant and,
Mhm.
you know, with the money they were making off of that.
They're gonna fight it to the last because that building is perfect for them. It's on the water. It's an old power plant. They're gonna do everything possible to get it.
Well, they'll get it.
Yeah.
Now they'll get it.
Now, if we were in the planning board over there, we probably could get very rich.
shh. Don't put that in the record.
All right. No, I'm just saying, I mean,
That's already in the record.
they're gonna try every route they
Oh,
possibly
I
can to get it.
It's,
It's-
so we're talking about it, like, you can't do it given the environment we have, but it is one of the things that we need to really be sensitive about and look at.
Mhm.
And New York State could change
Yeah,
the way they deal with that. We
Mhm.
could have a stronger seeker process, whereas communities, because of where they're based and what resources they have around power and that type of thing, could put a constraint on power usage of the.
well, it would be an
businesses.
impact on the
Yeah.
population.
Yeah.
About demand, then you have to consider
know.
whether it's an impact.
I know,
Well,
but it doesn't say, no, you won't do it if.
Well, because
Yeah.
the
It's hard
question
to-
goes to whether or not you can get the power. And NICEAG is never gonna say no.
Right.
Yeah, oh, no, of course
Oh,
not.
is that what it goes
Close
to?
one.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
never
that's
thought about it that
it's
way.
never a question of whether or not.
It was, well.
It's always a question of whether or not the power is available. It's like asking about water. I mean, water is a more,
No, I mean, it was.
in
done
terms of like
correctly.
public
And I
water
think
is a more.
They added
limited
everything
resource.
they
The plant,
possible that they could think of.
do so
I
much,
think
but
we
I mean,
tried.
I've seen people build new plants to support, new water plants to support.
Yeah.
development, so.
Well, they're building well, they're not, the company that's building the data center is not building the solar farms, but there is one going
Yeah.
on near there, but it's only 65 megawatts
They,
apparently.
well,
Yeah.
they're only, the only thing that probably will stop them will be the state and the water usage.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be using a lot of water for cooling. I mean, you know how much water they're gonna be using. It's a lot.
Mhm.
So that the state could say, no, you can't take 1 million gallons a day because the lake doesn't have 1 million gallons a day. I'm just a number. I'm not, that's not how much they'll be using.
Yeah, just drawing it is a problem because that was fracking was a big issue, was the water that they.
How
needed
much does
to
Cornell
use.
draw a day
Yeah,
for their lake
that's a
source
big
pooling?
question. Yeah.
I mean, they pull quite a bit of water.
Yeah.
Oh, they probably do, yeah, for their power plant, yeah.
But that was grandfather.
No, not the power plant. They pull water to cool their buildings.
Yeah, they have a full, they have a
Right.
full power plant
Right,
with
they
steam
do.
going to all the buildings. That, oh yeah, they use quite a lot of water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Our company had their own generator too, but it was on the Delaware River. so
But
it was
there's a
easy.
difference,
It was
that's
already
school.
polluted. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's the difference, the source of it. You have a lake with, cottages around it and things like that
Yeah.
versus.
You get
the
more
hill.
beachfront.
Well,
Right now, right now I could use a bit more usage out of the lake, cause it's up there at 385.
Is it?
My lake shore is non-existent right now.
Yeah, it's at flood stage.
Is it?
Down
Yeah.
at Watkins and looking at Seneca.
Yeah,
It's very
There's a
high.
lot of
I,
areas.
I have a skinny footpath that's almost disappeared to try and get between me and the neighbors so I can work on their
Oh,
well
wow.
shed over
How
there.
about your house? Is it in?
Well, my house is
Oh,
about
that's right.
50
Way
feet
up,
above. I'm not worried about the house, but
They,
the lake shore, the highest I've seen it is when I first bought the place in the fall of 2021. It went to 385.5 feet was the lake level. It was about 1.5 feet behind my beach well. Well, right now it is to the back edge of my beach well. So it's up there.
well, you noticed on 89, they're digging out
All
all
the
the.
culverts and
Oh, they were,
drains.
well,
Yeah.
what, the day, one morning I drove down there, I was driving through rivers. Because all the culverts were clogged.
Clogged with leaves and
Yeah,
stuff.
and they quickly went out there and they
Yeah,
had
they were
backhoes
there's
running around.
down,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Alright.
also, like always, the hangar flooded. They always flood.
Yeah,
The moat.
That's a-
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before we get too far astray, do we
Water.
wanna get back on
Okay.
on the definitions here? Are we good with them as they
Yeah,
currently
I
are?
think so.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's well done, everything's in there.
so what do we need to do on this thing to actually just
Send the
Niels, are you
recommendation.
still there?
Yeah, I mean, if you're good with it, you can just make a motion. You don't need to do a resolution.
So just make a motion to accept the definitions as the town board currently has them drafted?
Yep.
I'll make that motion then.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
I,
All right.
So we have this in front of the ZBA too. I don't know when their next meeting is.
Yeah.
I'll get that one too. But, and then we'll still, like, the town board is gonna have public hearings. We have to go through a whole process, cause it's
oh,
a law.
To
update.
change,
So,
yeah,
oh, you gotta get a lot of
so we're trying to get it
info
moving.
on that one.
Yes.
Too.
But Thank you.
yep.
Okay, things are coming back.
I think the law should be that any interest in data centers, we should just point them at Seneca County.
Yeah. I don't think we wanna do that.
Part of what came up from the inputs, public inputs for the comp plan was actually where the properties are in the town of Ulysses that are already under, like Finger Lakes Land Trust, where they've got about 10 different properties in the town. And also there's like an archaeological site out on the west part of the town. And I got more info on that came in that I didn't realize was there. I put it together just in like a 2-page memo. I'll have Niels distribute that to you guys. I think for us, it's more background information just to know where they're located in the town. So if we stumble across something close to one of these or something like that, particularly the archaeological site, have some clue where it is and what it is and that sort of stuff.
Circles and squares, they like to keep those hidden.
Right, well, that's why I don't wanna go into detail, but I will have Neo share with you guys. You know, rather than looking up page 400 and something in the public hearing notes or something on the comp plan to find it, you know, keep it simple.
Yeah, I was wondering about that when the town board, it's a good question. I was on the call, but I was thinking about it when it was, when you signed off on that person who was looking for um, that you support the land trust, putting the land
Oh,
into.
the
That's a
agricultural
different-
preservation.
That's an agricultural
That was an
version.
agricultural
Right.
conservation.
Yeah, but a similar,
Markets.
but a similar kind of issue, because we should, the comp plan needs to really think, well, it's fine, I didn't think it was an issue where, what I understood where it was located. But we really need to make sure nobody's gonna try to put that into a land trust or something like that. If we wanna have an industrial area or a area that's being built up. So that's where the land use maps
Yeah.
are really
Cool.
important. Like you wouldn't, right, if that land trust or the agricultural trust was for in an area like,
Like the cornfield down there, but right on 96 where they were gonna put Dollar General.
yeah, right.
It's where, which is included in part right now of our zoning for, what is our, like, technical,
Is it?
yeah.
Is
there's
that the
like a
technical?
four letters.
Office and technical.
Office and
No.
technical, yeah, anyhow, that's down there as part of that, but yeah, the properties here are talking about are actually out along Iredale Road out
Yeah,
there.
they're almost.
And it's that big farm now that does all this fancy grains and stuff, the bakery right down here in town
Mhm.
buys their stuff from them, that's the farmer that's putting it into this agricultural conservation version. It's just.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That
and
was
we
interesting.
can't control what landowners do with their own property.
Yeah.
right.
So like if they personally want to put their property in a trust, whether it's with Finger Lakes Land Trust or Ags and Markets through a conservation easement. This is the first one that's ever come to us for a letter recommendation, but there's something specific
Yeah,
to it.
I know, I
But
was
like,
surprised,
the
yeah.
other ones with the land trusts, we don't get notification of that. That's
Yeah.
just within their deeds and
Right, it
their
just
their
happens.
property.
That's why I figure it's good for us as the planning board to know where these
Yeah.
things are at,
Mhm.
since we happen to, it's
Yeah.
Rich,
Helpful.
Rich Goldman's wife is the one got the details.
Well,
And I
shouldn't you
figure
look
I
at,
should share them with the rest of you.
you should probably look at the ag trust areas as well.
Yeah.
Because although I don't think there's any, what's really, and having looked into them, doesn't really make sense when you're in an area where the land prices are going up a lot. Cause you really lose something that's a real commitment.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
All right, are we ready to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All right, in that case, all in favor? Thank you, folks.